Hello, and welcome back. Today, we're going to be looking at the top 10 weirdest funerals ever. It's sometimes been said that a funeral should reflect who the deceased was when they were alive. If that's always the case, then the following funerals were for some really colorful characters. Number 10. Billy Stanley. There was nothing that avid motorcycle enthusiast Billy Stanley loved more than his Harley-Davidson. He was so in love with the vehicle that he organized to be mounted on it after he died. Not only did he plan for his body to be strapped to his bike, Stanley wanted the whole world to see him riding off into the sunset. He and his sons designed a giant plexiglass case into which he and his beloved Harley were entombed. Of course, there was time for a quick tour around town first. Number 9. Graham Chapman. 1/6 of the famous Monty Python flying circus team and a very naughty boy, Graham Chapman left us earlier than anyone would have liked. And while his funeral was very much a family affair, we're concerned with the comedian's memorial service held 2 months later.
Graham Chapman, co-author of the parrot sketch, is no more.
The surviving Pythons declined to attend the funeral for fear of it becoming a media circus, but they delivered a memorial that was very true to the absurd character of their friend. Most famously, Cleese delivered one of the most inappropriate eulogies, which, of course, was entirely appropriate given the deceased.
He has ceased to be. Bereft of life, he rests in peace, and gone to meet the great head of light entertainment in the sky.
Number 8. Christopher Rivera Amaro. This one's a knockout. When Puerto Rican boxer Christopher Rivera Amaro was murdered in 2014 at the age of 23, his family wanted to remember him for the way he lived, not the way he died. His passion for the sport of boxing was always at the forefront, so the team at the funeral home suggested something pretty eye-catching. When mourners arrived at Amaro's wake, they were greeted by the sight of their friend and family member posed standing in a boxing ring with gloves on his hands and sunglasses covering his eyes. It's something that we doubt anyone who attended the event would ever forget. Number 7. Fred Guntert. Here's another gentleman who planned ahead. A lifetime devotee to Egyptology, Fred Guntert decided that he would really like to be buried in not a coffin, but a sarcophagus. He didn't trust just anyone to get the details right, though, so he dedicated 25 years of his life to making it himself. Made from rot-resistant cedar and adorned with images of Egyptian deities, including Horus, Osiris, Isis, and Nut, the sarcophagus came to measure 7 feet in height and weighed 300 pounds. The whole thing cost Fred $10,000 to make. But did it ever look great on the day? Fred lived to be 92 years old. Number 6. Drive-through funeral. Only in the United States, right? For times that we guess you're in a hurry, you can actually take advantage of drive-through funeral homes. Paradise Funeral Chapel in Michigan kicked off the trend, but now more and more of these peculiar things are popping up all over the place. No need to park and get out. Just pull on through, view the body, and sign the guest book from the car, and be on your merry. America's culture of convenience just got a little more callous. Number 5. Tupac Shakur. One of the infamous rappers of the 1990s, Tupac Shakur's 1996 murder has become the stuff of legend, and so too has what happened to his body. Like many people, Tupac opted to be cremated, and his remains were gifted to his closest friends, the members of Outlaw Immortals, the rap collective Shakur founded. So, did they take his ashes to a clifftop somewhere and let him float off into the wind? No, these guys had something more radical in mind. They mixed his ashes in with a heap of marijuana and smoked him. Yup, we guess that's one way of keeping your closest friend with you forever. Number 4. The Death of Christmas. Christmas is a love it or hate it affair. The man whose funeral we're about to talk about definitely fell into the love camp. In fact, he loved the Christmas season so much that his funeral boasted all the Christmas time trappings you can think of, including a tree, a manger full of live animals, reindeer, dancing, Santa Claus, and a coffin on a sleigh. The family also contracted a professional mourner to attend, which is another type of weirdness altogether. Number 3, gone kayaking. The story behind our number 3 entry is not known, but it's such a striking image that it had to make the list. This old gentleman clearly loved mucking about in boats so much that he insisted on being buried in one. Whatever floats your boat, good sir. Number 2, Hunter S. Thompson. A renowned writer, journalist, and eccentric, Hunter S. Thompson's funeral was funded by none other than Hollywood superstar Johnny Depp. In preparing for his turn as Thompson's alter ego in the film Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Depp got very close to the writer, so when he passed away in 2005, he wanted to help out. The funeral was an affair that was very much in line with Thompson's personality. The centerpiece of the service was a 46-meter-high tower built in the shape of a fist with a cannon mounted on top that blasted out fireworks and Thompson's ashes. Number 1, Mr. Jian. At number 1 on our top 10 weirdest funerals ever countdown, we have the Chinese man who ordered 2 strippers for his funeral. What must have been the 3 longest songs of his relative's life, 2 exotic dancers bumped and ground around Mr. Jian's coffin. We guess this is what he wanted.